About a year ago, Star Wars Rebels was announced to the world, an animated Star Wars television show set within the dark times, in between episodes 3 and 4. And within this year, we've gotten trailers, sneak peeks, interviews, and clips from the actual show. And of course, the natural laws of nature applied themselves, and the internet complained. The more information on the show came out, the more people found reasons to bash its very existence. Now, it's no shock to anyone that the Star Wars community has gone through big changes within the past couple years, and so there exists a percentage of Star Wars fans very vocal on the direction Star Wars is going. But I'm not going to cover that yet. However, I am going to discuss Star Wars Rebels and why I feel people shouldn't just completely disregard the series based on what they've seen so far, especially since we haven't even seen an episode yet. First, I am going to give some short rebuttals to the most popular arguments against Star Wars Rebels, straight from YouTube, IGN, and other entertainment news sites, and even StarWars.com. There were so many different arguments against this series, ranging from short dumb nitpicks to some arguments I just need to address. So, here they are. Argument number 1. It looks kiddish, especially compared to the Clone Wars. I'm sorry, have you seen Star Wars The Clone Wars movie? Or the first season? Here, let me show you. Yeah, it wasn't exactly the Black Cauldron of television series. Now, let it be known that I love Star Wars The Clone Wars. Towards the end of the first season really showed that the writers are capable of providing great, and sometimes even dark storytelling. And although the trailers and sneak peeks for Star Wars Rebels don't necessarily satisfy the thirst for a more serious Star Wars, it is a story about the dark times, an era in Star Wars history fully known for how shitty life was under the oppression of the Empire. My last point on this topic argument is, go watch Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope. The film does a good job of blending light comedy through its characters with dark situations that serve as growing experiences for said characters. And if the writers for Rebels play their cards right, then they too can achieve the same results. Argument number 2. The story doesn't sound good. Alright, let's analyze the story for a second of what we know so far. It's the story of a colorful group of rebels being hunted by the Empire. They go through adventures together, mainly focusing on a boy who has powers within he fully doesn't understand, but a former Jedi instructs and guides him to... Wait. Sorry guys, I seem to got the wrong footage up here. Let me just... Okay, there we go. What's that? Yeah, the plot of Rebels sounds pretty strikingly familiar, does it not? Filoni made it pretty clear that this series is an homage to the original trilogy, both in the feel as well as the story elements. Now, does this mean the story will be good? No, we can't know that yet. But there will be a familiarity any original trilogy Star Wars fan can appreciate. Argument number 3. The animation is terrible. I'll go over this a lot more in detail later on in the video. However, one thing people need to understand is that animation and design of the series are two different things. If you mean animation, honestly yeah, I do think it could be a little better, but let's not forget that Star Wars The Clone Wars didn't look that great in the beginning either. Now if the complaint is aimed towards the design aspect of the show, then for now all I have to say is Ralph McQuarrie. Remember that name, if you haven't heard it before. I'll explain later. Argument number 4. Disney owns it now, so it's gonna suck. To blame a show's success or failings based on who owns the show commercially is hardly a good argument, unless the company has had multiple previous failings in the past. So let's take a look at Disney's other franchises it happens to own. Now, Disney owns a lot. However, the two names that are the biggest right now besides Lucasfilms are Pixar and Marvel. Pixar doing relatively well, every once in a while getting a Cars 2, yet still producing quality originals like Up. While Marvel is blowing up majorly at the box office, with hit after hit. Even Marvel's very own animated television programs have found a successful home under Disney XD. And because of that, I can say that Lucasfilm shouldn't have a problem continuing the quality of production or storytelling just because they now are under a new roof. Argument number 5. What about The Force Unleashed? No. Ow! Just no, okay? Did you just... Look, I'm not going to cover my thoughts on the EU and its current status, as that would take a video in itself. But just know for now, Lucasfilm have confirmed that everything besides the films, the Clone Wars, Rebels, and whatever else the company is set to release in the future is officially non-canon. Okay? Well, that took a while. Now, I want to go over some reasons that I think the show might actually do very well. The crew. Crew-wise, Dave Filoni, who directed Star Wars The Clone Wars, returns as one of 3 executive producers for the show. His previous work includes directing episodes of award-winning series Avatar: The Last Airbender.
We're taking it to the next level now, and one thing that all of us were excited about was the Empire.
Simon Kinberg is the second executive producer, as well as creator of Rebels. He's best known for his work in the X-Men franchise.
Rebels is going to be the first point of entry for a new generation of Star Wars fans, and it will hopefully be a point of return for existing Star Wars fans.
And Greg Weisman, co-creator of critically acclaimed series Gargoyles and many other animated TV shows, is the last of this great team of executive producers.
We're going to show how the Rebel Alliance came to be, and that is tremendously exciting. I think it's going to be great for the audience, but it's just tremendously exciting for me.
Filoni confirmed much of the Rebels crew are returners from Star Wars The Clone Wars. With this information, I'm confident enough to say at least a lot of hard work is going to go into this series. The style. The style of this show draws from many inspirations. Number 1 is obviously the original trilogy. They went as far as to make the laser bolts from the stormtroopers identical to the ones from the classic movies. And if you don't think that's cool, check this out.
So when the blade ignites, is not like a lightsaber blade that you've seen since probably 1980. But the original lightsabers were very thin blades, like more like a fencing, sword. So I told the CG supervisor I'd love to make those lightsabers. We are able to emulate that exact effect that they used in 1977 for the lightsaber blade. It's a detail that the diehard fans will know. Mm-hmm. Everybody else will go, it's a lightsaber, but it lives as a little moving blade now because it's energy. So it's a different thing.
Awesome, right? According to the crew, the show also takes some inspiration from Miyazaki films. And last and certainly not least, Ralph McQuarrie. Don't know who that is? Well, you should. He has had an amazing contribution to the look of the Star Wars franchise. He was concept artist for the original trilogy and is mostly responsible for Star Wars looking the way it looks. And if you've seen any interviews regarding Star Wars Rebels, you would know that they designed the entire show to look like a 3D Ralph McQuarrie painting, hence the different art style. It is a great homage to an amazing artist. A new, stronger fan base. The biggest reason I think Star Wars Rebels will make it as a show is the audience. Just who is the series aimed towards? Well, quite a few age groups to be honest. For one, the kids currently who caught Star Wars The Clone Wars and are in need of more Star Wars television. For 2, the prequel trilogy generation, who are excited for the upcoming Star Wars films and will make do with a television series strategically placed around the time the movies are coming out. And of course, the parents of these 2 generations, who grew up with the original trilogy and can appreciate an homage to their childhood while watching it with their own children. That generation will appreciate it most of all. And that leads me back to its roots. Star Wars has certainly gone a different direction since the release of the original trilogy, both in feel and tone due to the prequels. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Yet this show has the opportunity to show a new generation of Star Wars viewers the core of what Star Wars is and always was. Or it might suck. Yeah, I know, I spent all this time defending a show not even out yet. But that's the thing. It isn't out yet. The possibility of it sucking is there. Will it be like Star Wars The Clone Wars? With a bad start that eventually escalated to pure TV animation gold? Or will it start strong and slowly die off into the sea of forgettable Disney XD programming? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Please comment and let me know your opinions on these subjects, and may the Force be with you.